Hey y'all, hope you've been well. I've been gone for a little bit. I've been gone working, trying to get my money up, trying to make my Delulu come Tralulu. And now that it's about to be the holidays, everybody's slowing down. I figured I'd come back and sit and talk for a minute about what's been going on in my life. In the process of me working and trying to get my money up, I also did something else to try to improve my financial situation, and that was to sell my house. And I didn't sell it as in I'm a real estate agent trying to begin a journey. No, I sold my starter house, and I wanted to share with you guys the process of that. I wanted to share with you guys how much I made off of it, and I wanted to share my feelings as a 34-year-old who had the house for almost 10 years. Would I go ahead and become a homeowner again after that? So I don't know. It's been a journey, y'all, but I wanted to share it all with you guys. So let's get into it. So why did I decide to sell my house? If it was perfect for me in terms of proximity to work, if it was the perfect size for me, if it was the perfect price for me, why did I eventually decide to go ahead and give it up, put it on the market? Well, the answer is simple. I had the house for almost 10 years, and in that time I switched careers, I switched industries, but even having done so, I was never able to make enough money to take care of the house the way that I wished to. When I first bought the house, I had dreams of fixing it up to make it into the little Victorian cottage of my dreams, and I was only able to ever pay my bills. The second reason I decided to sell it is because I just knew it would be a good financial decision. During this time, the past year, before the financial interest rates went all the way up to the sky, I knew that I could still get a good profit off of it because I had never borrowed against my house. I had never refinanced or taken out another mortgage on it. The house was still in good shape. And so I knew that this would let me be able to recoup enough profit from the new value of the house that I'd be able to start over. And if I wanted to buy another house in the future, which I will, I'd be starting from experience and not starting from scratch. So all in all, it just was a really sound financial decision that I knew it was time for me to make. So these are the factors that helped me to decide initially on a price. My house was built in 1905. It was almost 1,400 square feet. It had 3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, and it was in pretty good shape in a neighborhood that was quickly being gentrified more and more. So my initial price that I decided on was $175K. So before I decided to make the price public, I knew that I had to dress up the house, do it up, give it some curb appeal, make it look as best I could on my small budget, which is why I was selling it in the first place. But in order to do that, I had to stage it. And the staging process was, for me, the most labor intensive and tedious part of the whole process.
What's up, everybody? Okay, I'm at my house. I bought a few things to try to do some home improvements, little DIY, to try to do a little staging before I get my house up for sale. Now, I'm pretty sure the house would sell without my even having to stage it, but if it can be improved, I'm all about improvements. These are just a couple of the things that I got off Amazon to try to spruce up the house while I was staging it on a limited budget and a short amount of time. It was good that I had neutral colors, and even the littlest details did help.
What I learned when I was staging the house is that the things that people look at the most when they're purchasing a house are the appearance of the kitchen, the flooring throughout the house, the bathroom is important, the outside of the house, and possibly the roof. I did not know that before. So I thought that my biggest selling points were going to be that I had replaced a lot of appliances and that everything was working and up to date, but no. I learned really quickly, especially with an older house, it's all about the appearance. And the reason why is because when people are buying, for some reason, they just expect that things are going to start falling apart in an old house, or that they haven't been replaced and that they're going to need to be replaced. So the goal is to get something that already looks pretty so you can fix it up as you go. I did not know that. And because of that, I had to concede on the price a little bit. As soon as I put the house up for sale officially, like the listing was online, people started coming to see the house. And that first week, I also received offers. Now, all of those offers were too low, and most of them I turned down. But there were a couple of offers that I did go back and forth on. I realized that people were sending me low offers because the price that it would take to renovate and update the house, even though it was fully working, was still a lot in regards to, you know, what it could be. But because the house is in a historic neighborhood and the city is on its way up, the city is always revamping, always improving, and of course gentrification, the house is worth a lot. So here's the problem. And I'm going to make a whole other video about this, got back into being a travel CNA. So the time I had before I had to leave for work was becoming limited. So nobody else was going to be able to take care of this for me. So I knew I had to make a decision. After a couple of weeks of receiving low offers, and by the way, all the offers that I received, they were through my real estate agent. Like, nobody ever contacts you directly unless you're selling it by yourself. So every time somebody would offer me something, it was like through my realtor. He would call me or text me and say, hey, this person wants to buy your house for this. And I would get to say yay or nay. And so after a couple of weeks, and I knew I had to get to work soon, I had to get out of town, one of the people who had initially sent me an offer sent me an updated offer for a little bit more. And I eventually settled with this person. Do I still feel like I sold the house for a lower price than it was worth? Yes. I'd have to say maybe 30 or 40,000 less. I sold the house for $145,000. Now, here is the thing. That's still a profit for me because, you guys, I purchased my house for $95,000. So what did I recoup after all the like contracts and the taxes and the mortgage taking out their stuff, all the rigmarole? I eventually ended up with almost a $40,000 profit, which is really excellent. Like, if you're trying to plant seeds for financial growth. So the closing process was actually also very simple. You know what? I had a really blessed experience because everything was really smooth, really streamlined, and I did not hit any snags throughout this whole thing. When it came to closing, after I accepted the offer, that was maybe a week or two after I accepted. Crazily enough, it was almost at my 10-year anniversary for when I had bought the house. It was in, I believe, almost August. But the closing process only took about 30 minutes. We signed our final contracts and I handed over my keys. I got my check. I got to meet the buyer and his family and the realtor. It was actually a really pleasant experience. Now, me having sold this house and now I'm out of town to work and all of these things, would I go on another home buying experience? The answer is yes. I am a home person. I know that I'm going to have experiences and adventures now with like apartments and trying on what kind of apartment is best for me. But I know that having my own little backyard, having my own four walls, my own privacy, I am really like a home little house type of person. So I look forward to that in the years to come. I do not regret this experience at all. I learned a lot from it. I would not suggest, you guys, that you buy a house unless you can afford to update it, fix everything, and have savings for any emergencies. There's so much that goes into it, but ultimately for me, it's still worth it. This was a major experience in my life, like a milestone, I guess you would call it, and I'm glad I got a chance to experience it so that anybody who has questions about it, is going through it for the first time, would be able to get something from me valuable in terms of what I learned. And in turn, the blessing that I got from selling the house enabled me to get on my feet and do a lot more than I would have been able to do before. I have a lot in the works that I want to share with you guys, and now I just need to work on getting it out there. So I'm excited to see you guys again soon.